Hello everybody, it's Cece from Cece Restyled, and I am here tonight, Sunday night, on the Dixie Belle Paint Company main page. I hope that everyone is staying in and staying safe, and make sure you check in and say hi. Let us know where you're tuning in from. Tonight we're working on a project I've been working on over the past few days on Facebook and then YouTube as well. It's this little vanity. I'm calling it the Petite Vanity project, and if you have not followed along or not seen my posts, I've been working on it from start to finish, and I've been posting along the way videos and photos of the progress and each step by step, each step of the way for this whole project. So from the very beginning, and then once we finish it, it'll all be documented. If you have not seen my posts, you can get caught up on the in the description. I've got links to the first and second part of this project, but this is part 3, and I will download it and put it on YouTube, and the replay will be available as well. But we're gonna go ahead and get working. This little guy here. So this was given to me. It was a desk. I went ahead and I added this backboard to it. So this is new. It's just some plywood that I cut down to fit on the back. And then these little cube drawers are little, they're little drawers that I found at the craft store, and they were like a couple bucks, and I happen to have them on hand, and I thought, well, what's a vanity without any storage for your makeup and things like that? So I thought, well, I could add those cubes to my vanity and give it some more storage besides just this little area down here. So that's what I did. I glued and screwed my drawers onto my backer and the top of the desk, and so now they're in place. In part 2 of this project, I did a base coat, I believe. I think I did it on part 2. Maybe I didn't. Anyways, most of the steps up until this point are documented in part 1 and part 2. In the description are the links to the YouTube videos. Anyways, so this is part 3. We're going to go ahead and blend our second coat with our, let's see, we use Bunker Hill Blue here for like the highlighted section, and in the navy here on basically everything else, and then on the tips of the legs we use some more Bunker Hill Blue. So you can really, it's a very subtle blend, but you can see how the Bunker Hill Blue is just highlighted just ever so much by, in the midst of in the navy, and you got these little highlights, and I don't know, can you see the legs? I got a little bit of Bunker Hill Blue here on the legs. So we're gonna go ahead and jump into the coat number 2. Like I said, if you are hopping on, say hi, let us know where you're tuning in from. I'm in Indianapolis. It was a very nice day. Unfortunately, we had to all stay inside, and despite the want to go out and do things, we are heeding what we are told, and we're staying in. Never thought I would have to say that in my entire life, but yes, I hope you all are staying safe and staying in, and just staying safe. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get started with our Bunker Hill Blue. We're gonna paint that on first for a second coat, and I've got my paintbrush, which I am using a Dixie Belle Paint Company synthetic brush in the flat medium size, which is one of my favorites. I really love these brushes. Love them, love them, love them. We are also going to be using a Redesign with Prima 1.5 inch round wax brush to do our blending. I really like these brushes for blending. They have the nice flat top and a big round bristle, so they're really good for blending in my book. And yeah, and we're just waiting for Dixie Belle to come out with a version of this, right? Aren't we? Yeah, we are. Okay, well, I know I am. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and get out both my paint colors. I'm going to get out my Bunker Hill Blue, which is this nice royal blue, bright but not too bright, from Dixie Belle. And then we've got our in the navy, which is a very nice dark blue, true navy color. And these colors blend together so well. I'll give you a little sneak peek. I'll show you the drawers that we did, just in case you haven't peeped out part 2 of the series that I'm doing with this vanity here. And you haven't seen those, I'll show you real quick. So in part 2, we worked on these little drawers that go in the little cubes that I added. And so we did an ombre of peony and barn red on the sides. And then we did a very subtle blend, which is what it's going to look like on the desk. A subtle blend of Bunker Hill blue and then in the navy on the outside. See how subtle that blend is? And then we added some resin molds that we made from Redesign with Prima molds. Painted those with 24 karat gold spray. And then added some bling bling. Do you see that bling bling? So those are our little draws that go right in here. So we've got those all finished. Now we got to finish the body of our desk. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my mister bottle and my old shop towel, as well as my blending brush, and then my 2 paint brushes for my 2 colors that I'm blending here. And I believe we're all set. I'm going to go ahead and start my timer because I forgot to, and I don't want to take up all your time tonight. So there we go. And if we have some time, which I believe we will, we're going to do a stencil on top as well. I'll show you how to do a subtle stencil job on top. A lot of people, I get a lot of messages from people asking for advice as far as what should I do to this piece? What would you do to this piece? What am I missing here? What does this piece need? I get a lot of messages like that. And a lot of times my answer is that your piece that looks great just needs a little bit of, what's the word? Just a little something, like a little bit of subtle texture to kind of break up solid spaces and add some interest and some texture. So that's my answer a lot of the times. So I'm going to show you how to do a subtle stenciling in order to add just a little bit of interest and subtle texture to a piece, but isn't so bold that it steals the show. The stencil is just a little part of this piece. I don't want it to be the showstopper. I want it to be the supporting actor. So that's what we're going to do on this top after we get it all blended. And I'm starting with my Bunker Hill blue, and as you saw, I am misting it with just a little bit of water in my continuous spray mister bottle because I want to keep my paint wet in order to blend it. You can't blend dry paint, can you? No, you can't. So that's why I'm working to keep my paint wet by just misting it lightly with water. You don't have to go crazy. And the reason why I use the continuous spray mister bottle is because it creates very fine mist. And that way, if I'm working on a vertical side or something, vertical, it doesn't start dripping and create a bunch of drippies in my finish. Unless, of course, I'm going for a drippy finish, which I'm not on this. So we're going to use our continuous spray mister bottle to mist our paint and keep it wet while we're working. So with in the navy, I'm kind of just going around where I have the Bunker Hill blue, and I'm just making kind of like an outline almost. I'm outlining it, and once we start blending it, you'll see that it's almost like a shadow. That's my thought process when I am blending. Or choosing colors to blend or where to put what color, I think about a shadow. So I have my lighter color or my highlight in the center, and my shadow or darker color around the edges or outsides or corners. So we've got that painted on. I'm only going to work in about this size area at one time when I'm blending. And yeah, you want to work in small areas or else your paint's going to dry up on you. So I've got my shop towel and my blending brush. I'm just going to go around at one time where the colors meet to kind of start to blend those colors together. Okay? I'm going to wipe off my brush onto my shop towel because I want to get rid of all that extra paint. Excess paint, it just muddies up your blend. It's no bueno. So then I'm going to go on each side. So I'm just going to start on this top side, and I'm just going to kind of go back and forth and up and down where those colors meet to get them to blend and make a nice pretty blend, nice gentle fade. Okay, I'm gonna wipe my brush off, try to get all that excess paint off, and I'm gonna move on to this side. And right where the colors meet, I'm gonna go back and forth, up and down, slowly. You don't have to work real quick. If your paint starts to dry up on you, you wanna go ahead and mist it again with water at this point, but I think that, I'll give it a little bit of a mist, not too much. So we're gonna move on to this side, do the same thing as we did on the other two sides, back and forth, all gently like, just to get the paint to blend together, up and down, to get the lighter color to go into the darker color and vice versa. Okay, I'm gonna wipe my brush off, get that excess paint off again, and then I'm gonna move on to my fourth side, back and forth, and up and down. Just to get those colors to blend right into each other. Then I'm gonna go around it one more time, 2 more times actually. And then I'm gonna take a look. It's hard for me to look at it sitting down like that. I'm gonna look, take a look and see if I have any streaky spots or brush strokes in my blend that I want to kind of get rid of. I can just do a quick brush stroke over those to kind of blend those in. But at this point, before I start to get to where I regret continuing blending, I'm gonna stop. Okay, I'm gonna stop. That's my best advice to you. Don't keep going, don't overthink it, don't screw up your blend. Just put the brush down, because before you know it, you're gonna keep going at it and then you're gonna hate it. So I'm gonna leave it, okay? Let's see, I'm gonna check real quick, see if we have any questions real quick. Okay, sorry. I think we had a quick break in the broadcast there. I apologize. Hopefully you're all still here with me. I don't see any super duper burning questions. Hey everybody, thank you so much for tuning in with me and sticking with me through that little blip. I think I lost internet connection for just a second, but we're back. So we're gonna just continue working down the sides of our, I know it's so hard not to stop. You gotta force yourself. You gotta have some willpower and just stop. You can always go back if you don't like it and redo it, but it's easier to just stop, let it dry, walk away, come back and see what you think. Okay, good, we're back. Thank you for tuning back in and not leaving me during our little interruption there. We're gonna go ahead and just move along. While this top dries, I'm gonna go ahead and move down the sides here. So we have done a very similar thing on the side as we have on the top. You can see my side here, my flat side, where I've got Bunker Hill blue right through the center, and then I've got my In the Navy kind of surrounding it. So we're gonna go ahead and continue that. And grab my Bunker Hill blue, and I'm gonna go ahead and just go right through the center there. So I'm doing all my blending, and then I'm gonna go back and make sure that I get the rest of I gotta get the tops of the cubes and things like that. So gonna grab my In the Navy, and I'm just gonna go do my second coat here on this cube here, down the sides, and side of my desk here. And then I'm going to take my In the Navy, and I'm gonna kind of just encircle my Bunker Hill blue like a little hug. It's just like a little hug. So my Bunker Hill blue is in the center, and I'm painting my In the Navy right around my Bunker Hill blue. It's giving it a hug, if you need to think of it that way. So now we're gonna go ahead and do just what we did on the top. We're gonna go around it one time to give it a little blendy blend, start blending the colors together, and then wipe off our brush. And then we're just gonna kind of go slowly back and forth to get the colors to blend better on one side. Then we're gonna do it on this side. These colors, then we're gonna do it on this side and the bottom. These colors blend together really well. So if you're new to blending or trying to learn it, I would suggest using colors that are in the same family, same like blues, 2 blues or 2 pinks or 2 reds or 2 peaches or whatever, and practice that way. The closer the colors are in, in family, color family, or hue, the easier they're going to blend together. So I would start with easy colors to blend. And, you know, if you start with, you know, like say red and green or blue and orange or something like that, which would not make a very good blend. It would look terrible because they're opposite on the color wheel. Then they kind of get a muddy look to them. So they're very tricky to blend. So don't go bold if you're trying to learn, because you're just going to get really sad and think, oh, I can't do this. So you want to start with colors that are very similar to each other. Right, so I'm just kind of painting on my second coat of in the navy all around all of these other spots that are not going to be blended, like the back. And then we're going to come down the legs here with the in the navy. And get inside this leg, outside the leg, this little crossbar here. If you take your Mr. bottle and you give your paint a little spritz while you're working with it, it actually makes your Dixie Belle chalk mineral paint last a little bit longer. It goes a little bit further and lasts a little bit longer, so you can get more out of a jar than you would if you do not mist it with water. That's just a little tip for you. It just dilutes it down just enough to spread it around a lot, but it does not, it doesn't compromise the coverage or the self-leveling quality. If anything, it helps with the self-leveling because it keeps it from drying up as quick. So less brush strokes, more paint out of a jar. I mean, what is there really to, you know, all it costs you is a little bit of water. See, that's it. So no harm, no foul. Get you a Mr. bottle today. All right, I'm going to go ahead and move on down the legs to where my Bunker Hill blue is on the legs. I'm going to give that a little mist right about where the in the navy meets, and I'm going to continue down my legs with the Bunker Hill blue. Little mist of water, help it go a little bit further. And then get this other leg real quick. All right, so I'm turning it a little bit this way. I'm gonna get this side of the leg. And then the navy down there. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and do my blendy blend around the legs, which is going to be pretty easy. All I got to do is go where the paint colors meet and kind of just do a little circly motion, and that's it. Right on the legs where the paint colors meet, they are blended. See how easy it is to blendy blend with the two blues? Two blues right on this side. So I'm going to do the same thing on all four sides of the leg. Actually, I think I didn't get the inside, so I'm going to go ahead and get the inside of the leg painted so that I can blendy blend the inside. Then we'll be all done with that leg. And I'll just go ahead and get the inside of this crossbar as well, since I'm right here. If you're just tuning in, or you tuned in a little bit late, we're working on this little vanity, or actually little desk that I'm turning into a vanity with a couple of modifications. I am documenting this entire project on Facebook and YouTube, and you can find the links to the first two videos in the description of this video. And then you can get caught up if you want. Okay, so on this side, we're just going to do a little circular motion to blend those two colors. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. And then on the inside, same thing. Just a little blendy blend to get the two colors to blend together. Easy peasy. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and do this leg in the back that we already actually painted. Now we're just going to blend it real quick before it dries up on us. Little circly motions where the colors meet. can go up and down just a little bit. You want to kind of bring that blend up and down for a wider of a fade. And then the inside. See how easy it is to blend those two colors that are similar? I mean, it requires very minimal effort in brush stroke. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn this puppy around. We are going to get the very back side and are in the navy. So I'm going to get the back of these cubes that I have not yet gotten. I already got that side of the back, so now I'm just going to get this left side here, or it'll be the right side for you guys. If there's any questions you guys have, please drop them in the comments. I'll be happy to try to answer them here in a few minutes, or if I miss them, I'm happy to go back later and address them after the video is over. Sometimes I miss comments and I apologize. I'm not purposely trying to ignore anybody. I try to catch all of the ones that I can. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and paint the back of the backer. And the inside of the cubes. Sorry you can't see that. I'm just painting it in the navy. No blending. Okay, so let's see. Now we're gonna come down this leg. We already did that leg. We're gonna come down this leg and do the little crossbar in the navy. Okay, and then come down here, all the way down to where we are painting our Bunker Hill blue. Hopefully you can see that. You see that? We gotta get this side of the leg. And the inside of the leg. Cool. Okay, so now we're gonna grab our Bunker Hill blue. And I'm gonna just continue down the leg, painting with the Bunker Hill blue. The inside of the leg I gotta get. And then the very last side of the leg, this fourth side over here. Sorry, my big head is in the way, but you know. All right, so now I got my blending brush all clean and wiped off, and I'm gonna blend circly motions, just real easy. Okay, circly, get it to blend. I'm gonna go up and down a couple times. And then the inside of the leg, wipe my brush off, do the inside of the leg. And then I think I just gotta get this spot right here in the navy. I think I didn't get that. And then I think I got one side left to blend, which is the inside leg here. Inside of this leg, boop, 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 boop. Couple little jabs with that will blend the blues together. Super easy. And then I'm gonna go ahead and get with my in the navy, I'm gonna get this inside of this crossbar here. And then we'll be all done with all of the legs except for this one right here in front of us. All right, cool. We are moving right along, lightning quick. I think I just got paint on my forehead, so you know, no big deal if you happen to see that. Okay, we're gonna get our in the navy coming down this leg. Okay. And then all the way down to where our Bunker Hill blue starts. We're going to carry our in the navy all the way down on all four sides of the leg. Make sure we're going all the way around this little guy here. And then I'm going to go ahead and take my Bunker Hill blue. I'm going to go all the way down the rest of my leg. Do you guys see that? And then we're gonna just repeat the process we did for all the other legs, which is blend all 4 sides where it meets the end of the navy with our super easy, magical, round brush stroke motion. So, okay, can you see that? Sorry if you couldn't see before, but just blendy, blendy. These colors go together so super easy. Okay, side number 3, and then side number 4. Okay, so all of our legs are now blended. All I've got to do is this little guy here, and then a little bit on the front, and we're gonna go ahead and dry the top, and then do our subtle texture stenciling on the top. Okay, I'm gonna have to dry that probably because it's not drying super quick, but we'll do our stenciling on top, and I'll show you how to do that as soon as I get this side all done. So I think that we got to take our Bunker Hill blue right here and do a little bit through the center. Remember the highlight. The lighter color is a highlight, so think of it that way. Okay, and then our darker color is a shadow. So we're going to go around our highlight with our shadow. Okay, now we're going to grab our blendy brush. Make sure it's all nice and wiped off, and we're going to go around our blend here in just a little oval motion. And then on each side of the blend, top and bottom, and then right and left, just go back and forth really gently to get those colors to blend together. Go around it one more time, and that's it. So super easy. Super easy. Like I said, if you're new to blending, start with some colors very close in family, just like these 2 blues. Okay, I got a very tiny bit on the front to get, and then we're going to go ahead and dry our top and do our stenciling on the top. So what I'm going to be doing on the top is this large stencil from Redesign with Prima here. So see this large stencil? Look how big that is. Perfect for walls, canvas, wall art, furniture. I'm going to lay this on its back side, and I'm going to give it a light spray with some spray adhesive so that it's sticky and it sticks to our top. I'm going to go ahead and do that now so that it has a few minutes to dry. You want your spray adhesive to dry to where it's tacky but not wet. So I'm just using Aleene's spray adhesive. They make stencil adhesive, but you don't need to use anything fancy. You can just use regular old spray adhesive. So I'm going to spray that really lightly and let it dry. Okay, going to give it a few minutes to dry while I finish the front and then dry the top. So with my In the Navy, all I got to do is come across this little front here. I don't think I got that yet, so I'm just going to go ahead and go over that. And then right inside my leg, and then I'm going to get this little area right here. I'm not going all the way inside because I'm going to be lining it with some fabric, so I'm just going about 1 inch inside of my little cavity here, or hole, or whatever you want to call it. I'm going about 1 inch inside, and then on this little edge here. So that's it for the front, okay? Now we're just going to dry our top with a heat gun real quick. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go around the edges of these cubes real quick because I did not do that yet. So I'm going to go around my little edges of the cubes. They need some love too. Ooh. The faces of my cubes are getting a little bit of In the Navy. That's it. Okay, so now I'm going to grab my heat gun. I'm sorry it's going to be a little bit loud, but I just need to dry my top so we can do the stencil, okay? So, put my brushes away real quick. I put my brushes that I'm done with in a Ziploc bag, and I take my mister bottle and I spray a little bit of water in there so they don't dry up before I wash them. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going to go ahead and dry the top with my heat gun. Sorry if it's gonna be a little bit loud. Okay, so the top is dry. So now I'm going to get ready to apply my stenciling. So in case you missed it earlier or you're just hopping on, the stenciling that we're doing is going to be a very subtle stencil. The reason why I want to do it subtle is because it's not the it's not the focal point of the project. It's just a little subtle texture or an addition that I want to add some interest. So I've got my stencil. I sprayed the back with the adhesive. It's drying to a tack. The top is dry now, so now I can get my roller ready. When I stencil, I like to use a roller. I'm going to be using, let's see, you can buy foam rollers from the craft store for a few bucks. I like to use this roller brush from Redesign with Prima. It's got a long handle and a low nap roller head that helps, you know, to not get squishy paint underneath my stencil since it's very thin foam, and it cleans really easily too. So I'm going to use my little roller brush from Redesign with Prima. You can use one from the craft store for your stencils. It's all good. But I am going to use this little tray. It's a little paint tray. I get it from the craft store. It comes with a foam roller in it as a little kit, and I just reuse my my tray for like 1,000 projects. So you know, waste not, want not, right? And my little Redesign with Prima roller fits all perfect right there. So since we're going for a subtle stencil, we are going to be stenciling over our Bunker Hill blue with our In the Navy. So not only did we use In the Navy around the edges and the corners to create the shadow, but now we're going to use it to create a very subtle stencil on our Bunker Hill blue. So I'm just going to go ahead and pour some In the Navy into my well here, into my tray. And then I think my stencil's ready. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to load up my roller. I'm so messy. So messy. I'm going to load up my roller and then just kind of roll off the excess onto this little side guide here. Onto the little side thingy that is for rolling off excess paint. Because you don't want too much, and I think I got too much. I may have got too much on here, but you know, whatever, it's all good. So I loaded up my roller, and now I'm going to go ahead and take my sticky stencil, my adhesive stencil. Now it's adhesive anyways. And I'm going to just place it right. Look, the width is like perfect for this piece, right? Am I right? It's perfect. So we're going to go ahead and just kind of center that on the top. We're going to get it centered all nice on the top where we want it. Oh my God, it's almost exactly the same width as this desk. That's hilarious. And then I'm going to stick it down. So the adhesive will help to keep it in place. It also helps to keep that unwanted extra paint from squirting out through the stencil. So I got my brush and I'm going to hold my stencil in place here. Can you see? And then I'm just going to kind of gently start. I'm going to start in the middle and I'm going to roll outwards. Okay, I probably can stand to reload my brush a little bit, or my roller a little bit. I'm gonna reload it a little bit, and now I'm going to finish going over my stencil in this direction, and then I'm gonna switch directions. I'm gonna go ahead and go this way now, just to cover all my bases. I'm gonna go this way. You don't need to press super hard, just hard enough to get it in all the little spaces of the stencil. All right, so got it all nice and covered. One coat's gonna be enough. And when I pick up my stencil, I like to do that from like 2 edges. Instead of just one corner, I like to pick up from one side here and one side here, and just kind of lift up so it doesn't smudge. Boop. Oh my gosh, check that out. Our timer just went off, and we just finished our stencil. So I'm gonna bring in a little closer so you can see our nice subtle stencil there.